Sup, it's Hallie. Welcome back to the Rising Knight. When we last left off, MC was kind of an asshole, and we're gonna see if he stops doing that. I should probably drop an extra save in case something goes horribly wrong. Okay, just a few more minutes. I heard that vzz. Might be too soft for the recording.
Hello? You're not still sleeping, are you?
What? No, of course not, Sayori.
I knew it! I can tell by your voice you're still in bed!
Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, I was still processing one. Ugh, fine, my alarm didn't go off, okay? Cut me some slack.
Hurry up! I don't want to be late for school!
Yeah. Wait, aren't you supposed to be at the school helping Monica already?
Well, they're only letting the big clubs advertise out in front of the school today, so I decided to wait for you.
Why's that?
It's so there's less students crowding the front, that's all. Just hurry up and get ready. And don't forget to bring your poem.
I know. I'll be out there soon. I hang up the phone and jump out of bed. Okay, so I guess this is the reason they had us enter two names at the start. We've got Asshole the Rising Knight MC, and then we've still got Sayori's childhood friend separate MC here. Ah, crap, I'm about 10 minutes late. No wonder why Sayori's worried. I rush to put on my school uniform and run to the bathroom. Ugh, my hair is all messed up. She'll call me a slob if I go out like this. I doused my hair in water and attempted to brush it to where it looks half decent. Ah, stupid hair. I don't need to capitalize this after a comma. With enough manipulation, the last pesky strand of hair goes down. This is not my experience with messy hair. It never goes down. Finally, I take a quick moment to brush my teeth before heading down to the kitchen. As I reach the kitchen, I desperately search the closet and cabinets for something to eat. Come on, I have to have something. Aha! Buried behind 2 boxes of cereal sits an almost empty box of breakfast bars. Perfect! I take the last remaining bar and throw the box away. I probably shouldn't keep Sayori waiting for too much longer. I run over to grab my bag and rush out the door.
It's about time. I was worried you'd go right back to sleep.
Sayori, I told you my alarm didn't go off. I wouldn't want to miss a day like today, and you know that.
Right.
Now come on, let's leave before we're late for school. Sayori follows shortly behind me as we make our way closer to the school.
So, what kind of bowl were you presenting for the festival?
It's a secret.
Can you tell me though? I'm curious.
No, Sayori, not until the festival.
Oh, that's not fair.
It seems fair to me. Would you be willing to tell yours, said someone?
It's a secret too.
See? Oh, so wait, was this actually supposed to be the same person? Because, like, the question marks were a different color. I was like, we've got 2 mystery people here. I don't know what's going on, man. We both got secrets we want to keep. All seems fair to me.
Yeah, I guess. How do you think the others will do?
They'll be fine.
You sure? They were almost completely opposed to the sharing idea just a couple days ago.
Yeah, but when we shared our poems in the club, I could tell they liked it. Having a wider audience might push them out of their comfort zones a little more, but I doubt it'll affect them much.
You really think so?
Of course, Sayori. After a few minutes of walking, we reach the gates of the school. There certainly is less of a crowd. I'd say it's less than half of what was out yesterday. Wow, I never knew just how many clubs this school had. Sayori and I say our goodbyes and head our separate ways.
Okay, class, you have the rest of the period to yourselves. Just know we have a test on Tuesday, so be prepared.
Ah, finally a break. As hard as this algebra stuff is, I'm glad my teacher always finds the time to give us a break at the end of the day. I should probably use this time to get familiar with my poem. After all, I wrote this very late at night, so there might be a few errors I need to fix. Oh, so did that one happen or not? Because, like, in the base game, MC just got his poem online like a lazy man. I open up my backpack and take out my folder. Is this not the right folder? I go, unending text boxes. I could have sworn I put it right in here. Wait, it only strikes me now that I left my poem for the festival on my desk. Ah, crap. If I don't have a poem for the festival, they're going to be pissed. I quickly rip out a blank piece of paper from my notebook and take out a pen from my backpack. Didn't they put it in the pamphlet? Shit, now I have to remember what I wrote. I write down the first 2 lines before coming to a stop. I can't think of how this line went. Whatever, I at least know the last few lines. I skip over a large chunk of the paper to write down the finishing lines of my poem, before returning to the top. Come on, the line! What was the line? I check the time on the wall and see how I only have 10 minutes of class remaining. I might be able to buy myself more time if I don't go to lunch. Yeah, that should be plenty of time, I'd think. I'm sure Sayori wouldn't mind. She did take her own break yesterday, after all. I try my best to fill in the lines I can remember throughout the poem before my teacher dismisses us. Exiting the classroom, I take a seat on one of the benches just outside. I set my bag on the floor and use my folder as support for my poem. Okay, now to think. I have less than half of my poem done, and only under an hour's worth of time to get it all done. No pressure. Oh, I think I know one of the lines. It goes here, I think. No, here. Wait, that's from my last poem. Crap. At this point, my paper is crumpling from the sheer amount of erases I've done. Erasures? That and my poem looks more like a collage of random sentences as opposed to a legible literary piece. Jeez, I don't think I'm ever getting this done. I decide enough's enough and rip out another sheet of blank paper. I'll just start from scratch, that should work. I begin writing the new poem, keeping a similar theme to the one I wrote at home. However, this doesn't stop me from getting writer's block here and there. Alright, I'd say this is about halfway. I pull out my phone to check the time and notice I only have 5 minutes until the end of the lunch period. Crap, I've used up all of this time too. Well, there's not much I can do except write quicker. I spend the next 5 minutes writing down, erasing, and thinking over how I'm going to end this poem until eventually... almost done. Damn it, I just won't be able to finish here. I stare at the paper and see it's full of crossed-out sentences and messy writing. It may be unfinished, but it's an alright poem at least. My next class is across the entire campus, so if I don't want to be late, I have to hurry. I grab onto my bag, and with my folder and arm, I start rushing towards my class. There's so many people in the way, though, damn it! I run into another hall and a detour from the crowd to take a different route. This is much better. Now I start practically running down the hall with how much free space is available. Man, if only it was always... man. If it was always this easy to cross the school... Gah! Did we crash into somebody? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. Is it me or is it him? Okay, I think we're asshole MC now. And this was the guy who was just saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to crash into you like that. I was just trying to make it before the bell and wasn't paying attention. Looking behind me, I noticed that he had dropped his folder and spilt its contents on the ground. I knelt down and grabbed each of the papers that fell out, most of which seemed to be jumbles of paragraphs with loose scribbling over some of them. What are you... Finished with packing the papers back inside their folder, I hand it back to the student. Here. Huh? You dropped this, right? Oh, yeah, right. He grabs the folder from my hand and proceeds to stand up. Just as he does, I continue my walk towards my next class. Thanks for helping, by the way. As the day goes by, I can't help but stare at the clock on the wall. These days are always the slowest, especially considering it's a Friday. Just one more hour and I'm out of here. It doesn't help that I wasn't able to pack myself a huge lunch this time around due to work. Now that it's the day of, I'm hearing about this festival left and right. Sayori mentions that it had food, right? Maybe I'll take her word on it.
So, can anyone tell me how we would?
Over time, I start tuning out the teacher's lecture. He likes to repeat a lot of the same material anyways, so it's not like I'll miss out on much. One thing I do notice, however, is how nobody else in the classroom raises their hand or so much as says a word. Looks like I'm not alone. I try not to make it obvious that I'm zoning out by still looking at the teacher's general direction.
And that's all for today's class. Have fun at the festival.
I grab my bag and swiftly exit the classroom. Looking down the hall, I instantly notice some newly decorated classroom doors that weren't there earlier. They must have set those up during the period. The time for the festival was set to be 5 minutes after everyone's last class, but there's likely already some stuff set up in the courtyard I could grab and go. On the way to the courtyard, I see various other decorated rooms with who I assume to be club members greeting students by the doors. The school speakers also start playing some generic Halloween tune at a low volume, which I assume is to be festive, but not so loud that it bothers the clubs. I'll be honest, If Halloween wasn't being shoved down my face every time I entered a grocery store, I would have completely forgotten Halloween was even a holiday. The rooms become more and more decorated as I walk down the hall, and I think I start noticing a theme. Some of the students wear hockey masks, and a lot of others have some guy in that same hockey mask decorated somewhere along the wall or door. It seems everyone decided to go with the same Halloween idea. Somehow. At least some people aren't referencing whoever that is. I saw two club rooms team up and base their outside decorations off of some haunted lake with a rotted yellow sign and shed in the foreground and background respectively. There was also a hand sticking out of the water, which I thought was neat. I would have thought there'd be more Halloween stuff to go off of, but maybe that guy's popular now or something. Or maybe it's Friday the 13th and I'm just not into it. Since most of the other rooms were pretty much the same, I passed by them without much of a second thought. Stepping into the courtyard, I noticed the same music that was playing on the speakers indoors is playing outside, but at a much higher volume. I also see various stands posted up across the grass. There isn't a whole lot out yet, as I suspected. I walk over to where they seem to have a grill and see that the line is pretty short. Perfect, I could go for a burger anyways. After a short wait, I take my burger, along with fries and a cold drink, to one of the outdoor benches. It's not the greatest place to eat, but I'm starving. I chow down on the burger as I watch some students playing the throwing game. It's hard to see, but I think they're trying to knock down stacked bottles or something. That doesn't seem terribly difficult, yet every time they only knock down a couple each time. Interesting. Maybe the ball is light and doesn't have a whole lot of force when thrown. Or perhaps the bottom bottles have some weight to them that makes them hard to knock down with the rest. Whatever it is, I see person after person fail to knock them all down, so there's likely something going on. I eventually finish eating my food and decide it's about time to go home. The games, despite their intrigue, seem like total scams. I don't think I'll be missing out on much by not playing them. Walking down the corridor, I can see each of the clubs packed with students inside. There's even some rooms where students are lining outside to get in. People really care about these things, huh? I questioned why Sayori would be the type of person to enjoy a literature club, but with the way people are sitting outside in the halls for something like chess, I now think just about anything is possible. I continue my way down the hall and see no shortage of people waiting. It's all fairly consistent. The only exceptions are rooms with the doors closed or ones not decorated, but even they have people in front of or next to them. That is, until I reach a room near the end of the hall. There's a gap in the people waiting outside club rooms. It's strange, but they probably haven't opened yet. I take a peek inside and see that it's certainly not closed. Like the other clubs around it, they have the same hockey mask guy decorated all around the wall and door, albeit to a lesser degree. I may not know who that dude is, however. I do notice a familiar name on the front board. It reads, "Welcome to our literature club." I stop in my tracks the second I read that. Is this the literature club Sayori was talking about? There's only 2 students sitting at the desks in the room. I assume the others to be club members since they're standing by the podium. I can't see if Sayori's in there from here, but I wonder if this is the one she was talking about. The students sitting down start lightly clapping, and sure enough, I see Sayori appear on the podium. This is definitely the club. I expected a little more participation than this. I don't know why. I can't help but stand and watch for a minute. That minute soon turns to a few more. It's only when I hear the claps of the audience that I finally am broken out of my trance. I can't waste time standing here staring at a club. I got stuff to do. I check my phone for the time. I don't have a whole lot of time to spare. I was thinking, oh my god, I don't have a whole... no, I should get going.
You're free to come in if you'd like. Beats watching from out here.
Of course one of the members comes up to me. It's what I get for staring at them like a dumbass. Oh, sorry. I'll be on my way.
You're fine. It takes courage to try new clubs.
Wait!
But don't worry, we'll make you feel right at home.
Damn it, why do I feel so guilty? If she didn't have to show up, this wouldn't have been a problem. It serves me right for staying here as long as I did. Whatever, 20 minutes, no more. Sure.
Great! My name's Monica. I'm the club leader. You can take a seat at any of the desks, and feel free to grab a cupcake and some tea.
Thanks. Stepping into the room, I awkwardly take a seat in the middle front row, away from the other 2 students. Each desk has a candle placed on top, all with a lavender scent. Next to some generic poem placed on the desk is a cupcake, just as Monica mentioned. Looking towards the front of the room, I see some purple-haired girls standing at the front podium, along with a tea set on one of the further desks. No sign of Sayori, though.
I didn't know you'd gone, Hallie. I thought you didn't like social events.
Well, there she is. I know, I surprised myself when I walked through that door.
Huh? What does that mean?
Not important. I just happened to walk by and decided that I have some time to spare, that's all.
Oh. Well, welcome, Hallie. Yuri's about to begin reading her poem. You came at the perfect time.
Is that so?
I have to go back up there now. Let me know what you think after.
Will do. Sayori makes her way towards the front of the room, just off to the side of the podium. I turn my full attention to the front of the room where this girl Yuri is apparently going to read us a poem. This should be interesting. She hesitates to start, checking her audience before immediately retreating back to looking down at her paper. Even with a lack of people sitting at the desks, I can relate to her hesitation to speak publicly. Although this goes on for long enough that Sayori steps up and whispers something to her. That seems to get the ball finally rolling as Yuri clears her throat before presenting her poem.
My poem is called The Raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human.
As she reads, I notice her demeanor changing to be more and more confident. It becomes obvious that this poem is something she's very passionate about. It's difficult to discern the meaning of it, though. I don't understand how someone like her relates to it at all, let alone enough to be passionate about it. Maybe it's a reference to a famous author that I'm too dumb to understand. I'm not exactly a literary expert, that's for sure. It's likely that the symbolism is only fabricated to make for an interesting poem. After all, the poem is well written and honestly quite impressive, at least compared to anything I could do, that is. Eventually the girl finishes the presentation and I, along with everyone else in the room, applaud.
Thank you.
Yuri steps away from the podium, and Monica soon takes her place.
Thank you, Yuri, for presenting such a lovely poem. You did amazing. Our last presentation will start in just a few minutes. In the meantime, there's still plenty of snacks left for you guys to enjoy.
Monica steps away from the podium and walks over to Sayori. I can tell her last sentence had a hint of nervousness behind it. This is soon justified as one of the other two students leaves the clubroom. Aside from the other members, that leaves only myself and some other guy who's chowing down on a cupcake. Oh, that's right, I haven't touched my cupcake yet. I look at the cupcake that's been placed on my desk since before the presentation. It's a chocolate cupcake with pink frosting and sprinkles on top. The design is a little girly, but I guess it's the taste which matters. I open up the wrapper and can't help but feel peering eyes from across the room. I first assume that it's from Sayori or something, however I notice she's still talking with Monica. Now confused, I glance around the room for a moment to see who else this feeling could have come from. Nope, no one else seems to even acknowledge my existence from the looks of it. That's strange, I never thought I'd be paranoid in a place like this, especially over a cupcake. The feeling returns once more, but this time I just ignore it. I take a bite out of the cupcake and... not bad. I can tell they baked this from scratch and didn't just get some store-bought. To think their cupcakes would be just as impressive as their poems. They really did put a lot of effort into this, much like the rest of the clubs. It's shocking how little people come to stop by, even for just a moment. Although I myself only came in because I felt bad, so what do I know? I look over to the only other student in the room who seems to have gotten another cupcake. I wonder how long he's been here. Or better yet, what he's actually here for. Whatever it is, it's not my place to butt in. I take a few more bites before I notice a familiar pink figure approach me.
So, Hallie, what did you think?
It was pretty good. Did you make it just for the presentation?
Of course. All of our members wrote poems specifically for today.
Impressive. I can tell you guys put in the effort.
Thanks. Did you like the cupcakes?
Yeah, the design is a bit cutesy, but it surprised me that it was homemade.
That's our Natsuki for you. She makes her poems like she makes her cupcakes.
What, homemade?
No, the cutesy part. Although she doesn't really like it when her work is described that way.
I see. I look to where the other members are sitting and instantly get a good theory as to who this Natsuki is. It's probably the one with the hair color that's as pink as the frosting. That would sure explain a lot. So, Sayori, when's this next presentation gonna start?
It's going to start in just a minute. He's just proofreading his work while the audience builds up a little.
Uh-huh. I take notice of another student now in one of the seats further from me. Glad to see at least some people are stopping by.
I have to go back up there now, Hallie. Feel free to grab another cupcake while you wait.
Oh, thanks. Okay, and she's gone. I wonder what all she even does up there. What all she... yeah. Whatever it is, it's causing the other members to periodically stare at me. It's getting creepy.